as well, and there's a lot of different subsections there. The Vortex is pretty cool, but the Maelstrom, that's the really interesting one. And speaking of which, Stellar Lotus, Cloud9 Maelstrom, that's how I segue into all this, right?
Fair
Perfect.
enough.
We've got a game number 2 coming on up here. Stellar Lotus has dropped a game number 1, so Cloud9 Maelstrom is up, and we're going on into the draft of Guardian of Terror.
And it is going to be once more Cloud9 Maelstrom on the left, which means it is going to lead us into a first pick, first ban for Stellar this time. And they, if we hit all the buttons, are going to be banning out the Butcher.
Yes, the Butcher ban, very, very counter ban heavy. We're going to see taking away Fan Hans's, of course, awesome ability to play that Butcher, as we saw last game. Ooh, that was scary. So it's a good first ban. Cloud9 Maelstrom is going to respond because they don't want to let Stellar Lotus have that Zeratul. They're going to ban him out themselves, and then Stellar Lotus is going to pick up the very early Kilthos.
Yeah, it's not really too much of a surprise to see one of the mages there first. Some teams have actually been now favoring Kilthos over top of Jaina, but she is still a really good first pick potential here. And as you see, Cloud9 will be running that here as well. Will this be the support? Because we talk a lot about getting kind of pigeonholed into a lot of supports. We've been seeing typical tanks at the second pick in the first phase for, well, in this case, Cloud9 Maelstrom. Or it's going to be one of the supports. If it's double damage, then Cloud9 is just feeling really confident.
Yeah, Cloud9 is feeling pretty good going on into all this. They did pick up that Uther there, so they can possibly force Stellar Lotus into a different... one of the other supports if they really want to, going on into the second ban phase. We'll see exactly how they want to play out the rest of this, but picking up the Uther, that's an interesting pickup here. Getting that the Divine Shield, are we going to be seeing something like a Kerrigan? Or Illidan, maybe?
Illidan is somebody that I don't think we've really seen a lot of teams have good success with. In fact, the only real Illidan game I've seen that was super successful was part of the Stormgrounds earlier this week. And there's that Twitch issue again popping up. So, GG. Gonna have to live with it. And that was with the Hunt, would you believe? So would that actually, come back here into NA? I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. The Hunt, I love it in solo queue. In competitive, we don't ever really see it, unless Trixler, for some strange reason, decides to join a team. But let's talk about what the rest of the picks we have here. We got the Murd and Tacet are coming out there from the Stellar Lotus. So it's possible that they see the synergy with Uther here, so they want to decide and pick up that Tassadar. But that Tassadar, of course, is just always a good pickup. But they want to make sure that if there is the pickup of an Abathur, or sorry, not an Abathur, if an Illidan or any other melee, they're not going to have the Tassadar and the Uther put together. So they will be able to pick up that Tassadar. It's a good pickup here. Cloud9 Maelstrom gonna take out the Asmodan after seeing that Tassadar, actually.
And that's 2 for 2 that Maelstrom has actually done that.
Yeah, it is. It's curious. It's I don't really. Maybe I've missed something with Stellar Lotus. Maybe they play a lot of Asmodan, or maybe just Cloud9 Maelstrom just doesn't want to deal with it regardless, because the Tassadar, of course, is a very good setup for getting those Globes of Annihilation stacks. But
that is true. It is a little bit of a smaller map there, so I mean, I'm just not entirely too sure Stellar Lotus is just going to have that setup. Like, even with the Asmodan ban, there was no Johanna threat here. Jaina was already picked up by Maelstrom anyways.
Yeah, but still with Tassadar, you can easily pick up those stacks and maybe just pick up the Vala as well, just to do the multi-shot type situations. Okay. It's a weird setup.
Well, either way, it is out, and so is Kerrigan. This is 2 bans from Stellar Lotus targeting out the positional power of Fan.
Yeah, so taking out that Kerrigan is another good call there, especially when I was saying before, with that Uther, you just have to be so scared. And wow, there's a turn.
Reckoning is at
yeah, not a
something's going on here with Cloud9 Maelstrom. Arthas yet again. Okay, so they just want to go back to that Arthas Tyrande roam.
Arthas Tyrande is, again, like really old meta. It's kind of funny that it's kind of coming back into it now. But even without a melee, it's still a very powerful roam by itself, because we have the rise of the mages, the range DPS that you can come to a lane to help with that damage output. We have a lot of damage output available to teams these days.
That we do, and that's why, Tyrande is just really a great supplement as a flex support. Anytime that you have any good amount of burst, it gets just exaggerated whenever you have that Huntress mark that goes down immediately on that target, and that's a lot of vulnerability that adds so much more damage to all of that. So Tyrande just in general is a very, very great pickup, and mechanically, if you have somebody like the synergy between King Caffeine and Dunk Train, like remember the old Stitches King Caffeine and Dunk Train Tyrande, where he would get the hook and there would already be a Lunar Flare about to land as soon as somebody what just happened?
Well, I'm not entirely too sure I'm actually equipped to talk about that one, as I don't even own that hero, and Trickster disowned me a little bit on stream about it. So, Sham2, who was the last pick?
Ready.
My brain must be getting a little foggy. Nay, may I say, my brain is getting a little murky in its thought process, because Cloud9 Maelstrom picks up the Murloc himself. Murky. Itself. I'm going to go with gender neutral here. Stellar Lotus, of course, rounds out their draft with a Rhaegar and a Vala, but that's a really weird pickup here for Cloud9 Maelstrom. They are really flexing some weird stuff here.
So, all right, usually when we see a Murky coming out in competitive, at least on this side of the ocean, he's always kind of paired up with a Nubarak. We don't have that this time.
Yeah.
This is going to be just straight Murky and the Roam. That's really all we have here for Maelstrom. It's the Roam, it's double heals, it still is that, but Arthas for the slow, Murky for the slow, Jaina for the slow. Like, there's a lot of just soft CCs to go with the mix of the hard here from both Tyrande as well as Uther as well.
King Caffeine just immediately tweets out,
Sounds right.
oh, perfect. Beautiful. Absolutely stellar, may I say.
You may. Yep.
So let's get on into that game. Jester spawning over here on the left-hand side.
It will be once more the guys representing Cloud9. It's Cloud9 Maelstrom with Dunk Train, Fan, who's actually on the Arthas, so might not be a melee assassin, but it's still a melee to boot. King Caffeine, iDream, and K1 Pro once more.
Over here on the right-hand side, it's Stellar Lotus. We've got ToeJam and Earl on the Kael'thas, Kiefer's on the Muradin, Wargreymon on the Vala, Karl the Llama on the Rhaegar, and Nightmare yet again on the Gundam Wing. I'm sorry, Tassadar, Mecha Tassadar.
Yeah, copyrights, please? Please?
Hello?
Right?
Team?
No Gundams here, only Mecha.
Only mechas, yes.
Wow, I'm actually at 0 kilobits for my upload. That's amazing.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Sorry, stream. All right, King Caffeine to hold down the lane up against Tassadar. That is slightly terrifying for both sides. I mean, one screw up and the Murky will go down, but at the same time, one slip up and the Tassadar is going to lose his lane.
Exactly. Wow. So I'm just happy to see that we're going to be seeing a Murky. This is pretty exciting, I have to say.
Thank you. ToeJam and Rowan to the top is going to be going up against his, what was it, Mage Twin, I think is what Shane Gucher calls her. But the double Mage is top. Kiefer's low hit points there in the mid. Again, like the soft CC is going to be real with Fan. And that just AoE cone around him, that AoE radius around him. Not a cone at all. But you can't run away from these kind of comps with that Arthas on the front line.
You really can. As soon as that Howling Blast is landed, there's absolutely no hope. You have to get out until there's some sort of cleanse out on the field. And that's going to be level 7 for Karl the Llama. A very, very long distance away. It's only level 2 right now. So we've got a good amount of time before that's going to pop up here. Murky going to start moving around and just kind of checking out what's going on. The night phase is about to begin in the next 3 seconds. So we'll see just how both these teams are going to try and pick up as many seeds as possible. Fan coming in for the flanking maneuver, possibly go on to Wargreymon. A very nice vault there from Wargreymon to get out of there. But oh man, the Owl and the W from Uther is going to be able to finish the job.
K1 Pro is actually still going to even try to duel out ToeJam and Earl, but already some of these kills are starting to add up. Seeds are very much in favor of Cloud9 Maelstrom as well, and they're about to hit that level 4, and just everything is just kind of going their way so far this early game. Stellar Lotus is very much on the defensive. Wow, even going to lose out Kael'thas into the top, and that's it. Like, that's the lane. More experience going the way of Cloud9 Maelstrom. Vala's finally going to be coming up, but she has to go around the long way for the soak. And it's level 5 to just about 4.
Yeah, so already, Cloud9 Maelstrom just flexing their stuff. They've already set up a huge level advantage with all the kills that they picked up. 4 over 0 right now. And looking at the rolls, I mean, Arthas is at the top of that hero damage, also top of his tanking roll as well. It's a lot to deal with going on up against something like this, but the Murky is actually doing a pretty good job of keeping this lane push. Look at Nightmare's health, already down to about a third down. Hasn't died yet either.
Well, that is something to be said there about King Caffeine. He knows his Murky. Give him that. 47 seeds now to the 36, and the big guy here into the top, it's not looking so healthy, but at the same time, we also now have some Merc pressure coming into the field, and level 6, looking for that level 7 advantage coming here in just a few from Cloud9 Maelstrom. They are not giving Stellaros a chance to go seeding.
They really aren't, and this is why they're the top seeded team. Am I right? Huh? No? Okay. All right, I'll leave. I'm done.
Top seeded, excellent. You're just on fire tonight, aren't you?
I really am. I'm like some sort of expert.
I don't even know what to say about that one.
You got nothing. You got nothing but K1 Pro and Fan. It looks like they are going to be able to collapse on Keepers. No, he's able to get away. Ooh, a Howling Blast is landed, but he's still just a little bit too safe there with those 2 towers. And of course, War Greymon sitting right there. So they're just going to go on over here and possibly take out the Terror. King Caffeine completely zoning Nightmare. Look at the damage.
The damage is fairly real, and now 87 seeds and counting. This is going to be that early game tear, and the level 7 advantage. I mean, Keepers and crew, they might be able to peekaboo in for a few of those seeds, but that's at best you're going to be looking at the 50 spread, and it's just not happening so far. Even now with the 4-man collapse, Keepers already down to under half hit points. Fan is just sitting there. K1 Pro, and that vulnerability, it's really starting to stack up.
It really is, and that's just how you put Tyrande into a team now. You just need to make sure that Hunter's Mark is going to be able to get landed. A lot of players I notice, and new players, don't really emphasize and really exercise the use of Tyrande's Hunter's Mark, but that is really the key to her play. The Lunar Flare, of course, is really nice. That stun, it's, A+, but that Hunter's Mark, 25% extra damage. Anytime you're able to catch anybody under it, that's just far too much. And 4 seconds, too. It's a long time.
Well, who's in the pilot seat of that terror, Mr. Sham2?
It's Murky.
It's Murky.
Murky on in there. It's not a Brightwing this time.
No, not. No, that's definitely not a Murky this time. No, it totally is a Murky. It's totally not a Brightwing this time. That's right. That goes all the way back to our first game of the day. iDream has outstayed his welcome into the top, and it looks like this will be the first blood going the way of Stellar Lotus. But at the same time, I mean, they put so much emphasis into taking down that top. Bottom lane starting to get pushed in. Dunk, Fan, and K1 are just doing so much damage. Nobody's defending against King Caffeine either. This is going to be a level 10 to 8 split soon.
Yeah, this is a very, very confident 10 to 8 split. It's going to be 10 to 9 probably. But still, with the Bruisers pushing into the bot lane, the Terror is playing a very nice role here. This is something that a lot of different players like to really use, team strategy in general, is that you put the Terror in one lane and you just kind of bounce it back and forth, and then you have the rest of your team pushing the other lane. So the Terror jumps back and forth between top and mid, the rest of the team pushes bot. And this is a really great way to use that first Terror, just because the first Terror doesn't really do that much damage, but it still has a lot of health.
Oh wow, how does it kick? Kael'thas going down here as well? My goodness, 6 kills to 1. King Caffeine's actually going to get out of that Terror, but the gate is down top, the gate is down mid. The entire bottom lane is now missing. It's 11 to 9. We might even hit 12 before we get those heroics for Stellar Lotus. And just King Caffeine, no fear. 2-on-1 mid. He's actually going to go for the big Octo grab, and he doesn't even drop for it.
He hasn't died yet as Murky. I mean, Murky's whole entire mechanic is to die a lot, but he's just, it's not happening. And a very interesting build. So let's point this out real quick. Doesn't go for Living the Dream after its last nerf. Picks up the bigger slime, picks up slime advantage. Basic attacks against enemies who are slimed are increased by 100%, and then also picks up Bubble Breeze at level 1 to just give a little bit more of that escape potential anytime he pops that bubble.
And of course, we saw the Octo grab.
Yeah, and the Octo grab, yes, good point. So a very interesting build there for Murky, and I think a lot of people play Murky very different ways. but still staying alive for a good amount of time. I thought even then he was going to die there. Dunk Train going to have to use the Divine Shield to stay alive for a little bit longer. I don't know if this fight's going to go in the favor of Cloud9. Oh, yes, it is, as that second wave of Blizzard comes in there and hits. Kojam and Earl gets the Octo Grab, and Ban is able to help Murky seal the deal there. K1 Pro is able to finish off the Muradin, and iDream is able to take out Wargreymond's Vala up there near the top 4. Very, very nice play there from Cloud9 Maelstrom. A 5-person wipe here.
And, you know, the timing couldn't have been better. Seeds are now going to be back here on the map in order for that big capture. And we have nobody on the map from Stellar Lotus. So this is going to be a very big amount of seeds now going over to Cloud9 Maelstrom. They also got some bruiser pressure just to keep the teams occupied. I mean, already the little seeds are going down. Well, still one camp actually standing by the end of all that. But the bottom tower is getting taken down very quickly by not only King Caffeine, but K1 Pro. And that's going to leave the rest of the team to contest the top in a 3-man style.
Yeah, so just look at how incredibly dominating Cloud9 Maelstrom is. You know, just look at the map. Everything's blue, Jester. Everything's blue.
There's a song about painting it black, but geez, they have painted it blue.
Oh no, I figured we were gonna go with the '90s hit "I'm Blue."
Could definitely go with that. Yeah. I actually I grew up with that song. So yeah.
I think you and I were both the same generation, so we both grew up with that song. But going on into this, oh, actually a little bit of an engagement there on Dunk Train, and not even having to use the Divine Shield, just uses Cleanse to disengage there, which is very smart use. Sometimes we'll see that Divine Shield a little bit too early, but Dunk Train knows exactly how much his character is able to stand. There's Protective Shield to keep him alive for a little bit longer. Oh my god, that Blizzard is getting so much worth, and there's the Jaina in the middle of all of it with the Divine Shield. That's what he's saving the Divine Shield for Jaina to be able to get into the middle of the team and just wreck them.
So it's Icy Veins once more, if you take a look at the Jaina, and that was almost guaranteed. The Icy Veins pop, she got off every single spell. Sure, she went up with the Gravity Lamps, but we had the Divine Shield ready to go from Uther. 16 kills to 2, 100 seeds in the bank, and King Caffeine is once more already piloting out the next terror. K1 Pro's pushing into the mid. This is going to be the second fort going the way of Cloud9 Maelstrom. There's not a lot of defense into that top lane there either. We got even more Merc pressure into that top as well. And this is, again, going bad to worse. We're almost at the 16 to 12 super sweet spot right now.
That we are. There's going to be that mid fort. And take a look, Jester, at the seed count.
Yep, 100
Perfect Centurion worth of seeds. That's 100 seeds. So it's going to be an immediate terror as soon as this one goes down. King Caffeine, it just has this unrelenting assault here. The Overgrowths are doing pretty good work against the Keep Towers. They're going to be able to pick up both of these pretty easily. That's going to knock them over into the level 16. New talent here getting unlocked for them. Uther is going to be able to pick up Benediction very easily. Interestingly enough, we're also seeing the Numbing Blast to increase the ability for that Cone of Cold to slow down and root members now who are getting hit by it. Stone Skin on the Arthas to keep his survivability just a little bit higher. It's just, this keep goes down and Cloud9 Maelstrom keeps going up.
Level 16 to 12 has now been achieved. 2 talent tier advantage. The defenders are still only on heroics. Top fort is going to drop as well. That's now a keep. All the forts are gone. 4 levels, looking very close for that 5, but doesn't actually quite get it very yet. But at the same time, I mean, we have entire map positioning advantage going the way of Cloud9 Maelstrom. It does look like Stellar Lotus will at least attempt to grab their stone giants, their stone bros, their siege giants, and they will, but majority of this map will remain blue for probably the rest of this game.
That is, unless there's a couple of really big decisions that are kind of messed up there by Cloud9 Maelstrom, but I don't think that's really going to happen. They're just running around playing safe. They're not even going too crazy. They're not trying to poke around and steal more keeps. They're just trying to pick up their mercenary camps, and yet again, just turning that map blue as we were just talking about. They just want to keep that going. They pick up the mercenary camps before they hit the Garden of Terror, or the Garden Terror, and they're going to spawn it yet again. And who's sitting on in that? It's another Murky.
It's another Murky. 17-13 coming in, and another murky. We should actually have seeds spawning by the end of this push as well, which means we can easily, again, use that map position to go grab another one if we need to. But King Caffeine, he's going to be coming through right this bottom lane. Dunk Train and Fan are already there. We got those bruisers, and King Caffeine is wasting no time. He's going to go straight for the score.
Already taking a good amount of hits. There's another Plasma Shield from Nightmare to try and keep that core up for a little bit longer. Keep is taking a huge amount of damage from that Blizzard. Starfall has gone down here. Wargreymon in the back line, but iDream and Dunk Train in close pursuit in order to take him out very quickly. So that's going to be the first death here. Meanwhile, Fan is going to start just trying to zone out. Oh my god, the Muradin, and he's going to get taken out as well. There's the Syndra. Ghost going down. King Caffeine still wailing away on the core. And I think that this is going to very easily be Cloud9 Maelstrom taking game number 2 in a 2-0 victory in this best of 3.
Oh, wow. They even get that Divine Shield, Murky, Octograb. Toe Jam Mineral is not going to drop because the core has dropped instead. Cloud9 Maelstrom with the 2-0, and they have now solidified a spot in the round of 16. Congratulations to them. Stellar Lotus, I mean, they had to wait a long time to get through their games, and they breezed right through them when they were done. 8- and 9-minute wins. But now coming up against the number 2 seed here in the Road to BlizzCon July North American Open. It was a little disheartening to see. 4-level difference by the end of this one.
So, you know, I was kind of bringing this up to you when we were talking in between the games, and this is what I really want to emphasize here. We saw the huge difference between Stellar Lotus and a rank 5 Hero League team, right? That was a really big gap, 8 minutes between each of those games. That's a massive, massive gap in skill, right? Because just Stellar Lotus was able to completely obliterate their opponents. Now we have that much of a gap again between Stellar Lotus and Cloud9 Maelstrom. So we're just having this massive, massive gap in skill. And that's, imagine Cloud9 Maelstrom versus that rank 5 team. And then again, think about just that rank 5 team versus like a rank 20 team. It's that gap continues to grow exponentially higher up you go. And that's what makes people like Cloud9 Maelstrom and Tempo Storm so impressive, is that they are at the absolute tip top of that bell curve. And the skill is still growing. Tempo and Cloud9 Maelstrom are still finding new ways to play this game. And Tempo might even get unseated by Team Liquid if we go into BlizzCon. We'll see. I mean, we don't actually know what's going to happen when we start seeing these international lands, but Jester, this game's got a lot of skill that I think a lot of people try to take away from it.
There is a lot of skill based about this game, but on the surface, they're like, there's no items, there's no last hitting, oh, whatever, I'm going back to my other games. But when it comes down to it, it's, you know, a lot of this time, the big phrase that comes to mind is like, go, right? Simple to learn, hard to master. So I would definitely say that Cloud9 Maelstrom, they've been playing this game a long time. Their teams were basically formed right after BlizzCon last year, and they have their sights set high to move forward here, to return to BlizzCon and once more be crowned the champions. We'll have to see how far they get. Tempo Storm absolutely looking dominant, but unfortunately, 2 out of 3 qualifiers, we are going to have to say goodbye to Stellar Lotus. It was a good set of games. We were glad that they were able to show up. They showed a lot of patience with these early games there as well. So big points to them as well as for their sportsmanship. But the next set of matches will be Cloud9 against, I don't even know who actually is waiting for us there at that round of 16 bracket. It's not even reported either.
No, it's not even reported. So we'll see if we're going to be covering those, but we're having a little bit of stream issues, so we'll see exactly what's going to go on with those next games. But of course, just stay tuned or check us out on Twitter, FourCourtJester, or myself, Sham2.